Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having a great day. For those of you who don't know, my name is Anna. This used to be a pretty active beauty and makeup channel, but today we are switching gears. This is the first video I've posted in a long time, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I passed the ATI TEAS 7 exam on the first try. I was someone who had not been in school for 5 or 6 years. I had been working. During that time that I was not in school, I thought I was done with college and I was never ever going back. But here we are going back to nursing school, and the requirement for me to get into my nursing program was that I had to take the ATI TEAS 7 and meet the school's required composite score. So let me show you how I did that on the first try. If you're someone who is super nervous about like the science and the math section, don't worry, you're not alone. I was personally freaking out. So yeah, let me show you what I studied, how I studied, what I liked. And hopefully you can do great and just pass on the first time. I will say I personally gave myself a little bit of time. You have to make sure you're looking at your school's requirements and program deadlines and all that. Doorbell. Anyway, as I was saying, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to all of the deadlines, including the TEAS kind of retesting deadline. So let's say you take your test and you don't pass on the very first try, you can retake it. You just have to wait 4 weeks in between your test attempts, test taking dates, whatever you want to call them. And you can only take the TEAS test 3 times per calendar year. And on my school's website, under like the TEAS information, it said that this was applicable everywhere. So I am under the impression that that's just the TEAS deadline. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that as well. Also, certain schools want you to have the test done and scores in, you know, X amount of weeks before applications are due, that whole kind of thing. So just make sure you're paying attention to all of your deadlines, and yeah, let's get started. First on the list, I used a lot of books such as this. This is the official ATI TEAS study manual. It goes over all portions of the TEAS test, which if you're not sure yet, there are, let's see, I have it here. There are 39 reading, 34 math, 44 science, and 33 English questions. So that's kind of the breakdown of the test. And by the way, all this stuff is broken down. Each section has their own concepts that they're testing you on. And if you're curious, the science portion of the TEAS test covers anatomy and physiology, biology, chemistry, and scientific reasoning. You get 60 minutes to take those. You get 60 minutes to take the science portion, and that actually accounts for 29% of your score. So definitely super well to do good on the science part. But anyway, so these kind of books are great because they go over all kinds of keywords, concepts, objectives. There's diagrams. There are their own little practice questions in here, which is actually perfect because then you get to see how the TEAS test is kind of formatted and what their wording is, and you can just get familiar with how they're asking their questions. And then of course there are answers in here as well. And what I liked about this was that, at least in the science section, it really did break down every single thing. Like there are sections in here that are specific to the digestive system and the respiratory system and reproductive systems, all under the anatomy and physiology section, which is like a subheading of the science section. So it goes really, really in depth and detail. And I would definitely make sure I personally read through this word for word because I was just so unfamiliar with this stuff, with the physiology mostly. Just because I had not been in school and I had not been taking science classes for the last 5 or 6 years. So this was really, really, really a super good refresher. So I highly recommend this one. I bought this on Amazon for 20 or 30 bucks. Another book I bought is this Trivium test prep guide. So again, this is for ATI TEAS 7 exam prep. So you just want to make sure that you're buying the correct version because there are more than one versions of this test. You want to make sure that you're getting the latest version. So this is kind of the same idea as the other book. You know, it's got diagrams in it, practice questions, just great things. Like it shows you, you know, examples for statistics and just everything, you guys. It covers literally everything. So I mostly focused on the first book that I showed you guys. I bought this as a backup and I did use it, and I mostly just took the practice questions out of here and kind of quizzed myself. I didn't read so much this one, but the practice questions were super, super helpful. And then the last book that I bought, and probably the heaviest it feels like, was this Mometrix 7 version. This I also, everything I bought, I think I bought on Amazon. Okay, you guys, don't judge me. But it's got, you know, it's got math, it's got reading, it's got science, and you can see their science is the big gray tab here, so it's definitely a heavy portion of the test. So you guys make sure you're studying your science, okay? But yeah, this was super helpful, and same thing, it's got diagrams, it's got pictures, it's got keywords. I want to say this one too also had this, we're in the science section here. If you need a review video on combustion in chemistry, you can find it right here, and it will take you to a video that they made where someone is actually talking you through things. So this was actually super, super helpful. Along with that, that same book maker, Mometrix, also has these flashcards, which were great. You know, if you just spend 20 minutes a day, like going over these, it's really super, super helpful. It'll ask you a question on the front. Let's see, will it focus? Yeah. So it'll ask you a question on the front, and then on the back, it's got a well-explained answer for you. And then another thing I did, which might be doing a little too much, but it helped me, was I made my own flashcards and notes from the official ATI study manual. It just helped me. It was just easier. If I needed to like find a key point, if I really wanted to keep quizzing myself on all kinds of subjects, this is how I did it. So yeah, I definitely would recommend making your own flashcards, especially things you're having issues understanding. That's a huge one. But those are the 3 books that I used to study, that I read. And then, oh, let me show you something else. Watch YouTube videos and take notes. I think the most helpful YouTube videos I was watching were probably from Nurse Cheung. She's on YouTube. She does really great in-depth videos, but I just like listened to her talk and I took my own notes, and I even like printed out pictures and taped them into my notes. I've got like all kinds of anatomy and physiology notes in here that I jot down and highlighted and made super pretty and super easy for me to understand. I've got, what's our next section here? Life and physical, which is more like biology basically. So we've got like mitosis in here that she covered. We've got chemistry that she covered, which for me was one of my worst science classes when I was in school the first time around. And she's got math videos. She's got like all kinds of videos, so I can't recommend her enough. I would also recommend going on your school's website, like you know, under the TEAS section. There were lots of helpful resources from me, some of which I can link down in the description box. But yeah, I studied, let's see, I started studying all of this pretty early on in 2023, like probably February. And I was just doing a little bit here or there because I was working full time, and I was also going back to school to finish my prereqs, get into my nursing program. So my time was pretty well occupied, but even if you can just do 20 or 30 minutes a day, super, super, super helpful. That way you're not feeling like you have to cram this entire time. And then I took my TEAS test in July. So I pretty much had all of spring and the very beginning of summer to study and review concepts and apply what I learned in school in the classes that I was taking, which were, at the time, it was my Anatomy and Physiology 1. It was my first class I was taking to finish my prereqs. So, yeah, all of it was super helpful. I definitely don't recommend, if you've been out of school for a while, I don't recommend taking the TEAS test before you've taken AMP1, at least. I think even if you waited until you took AMP2 and then took the TEAS test, that would be the most helpful, because there really are like some pretty in-depth questions. So yeah, my biggest thing is get yourself some study books, write your own notes because that will help you remember things whether you realize it or not. Watch YouTube videos when you have free time, just put them on as background sound. Make your own flashcards, use flashcards. I can link everything that I listed down below. Definitely check out Nurse Cheung's videos and give yourself enough time to study so that you really are not cramming. But yeah, so I hope that was helpful for you guys. Good luck. Comment any questions down below, and I'll see you guys next time.